Hello, fellow football connoisseurs, and welcome back to the Quick Take. Lots of news to get into today. Of course, we have the almost breaking news, but a big update regarding Chelsea's potential future and our chances of finding who we are again as Marco Neppe leaves Bayern Munich. Getting into that in just a minute. We also have an update regarding Julian Nagelsmann, of course, big fan favourite or big channel favourite, of course, the Quick Take. Myself, and I have been promoting Nagelsmann for many months now. Of course, my biggest video is a breakdown on Julian Nagelsmann, and we have a new update regarding Nagelsmann and his future regarding Chelsea, of all clubs. We also have an update regarding the stadium redevelopment plan. I'll get into that in just a minute, but we're going to start off the video going over the news regarding Marco Neppe and why I think it is very interesting and crucial Chelsea get in on this news. We have this coming in from FC Bayern Munich a couple of days ago. FC Bayern and Marco Neppe end their cooperation. FC Bayern and its technical director Marco Neppe have agreed to end their cooperation by mutual consent after 10 successful years. Neppe joined FC Bayern from Bayer Leverkusen on the 1st of July 2014 and most recently held the position of technical director. FC Bayern CEO Jean-Christian Driesen: I would like to thank Marco Neppe for his long cooperation. We celebrated many successes during his period, and under Marco Neppe, we discovered outstanding talents such as Alphonso Davies and Jamal Musiala, who have matured into world-class players in Munich. He was an important factor in squad planning, and not least because of his excellent network, also in the cooperation of many transfers. We wish Marco Neppe all the very best for the future. Marco Neppe: I would like to thank SC Bayern for their trust, support, and above all, the opportunity I was given here. It was a challenging, exciting, and successful time, with the 2020 treble as the highlight. I wish FC Bayern and its wonderful fans maximum success for the future. FC Bayern will remain part of my history, and I am proud of that. Neppe, 37 years old, started out at FC Bayern as a scout. After 3 years, he was then promoted to head of scouting, head of the department, and from December 2021, he held the position of technical director. Since 2014, Bayern have won 9 Bundesliga titles, the DFB Pokal Cup 3 times, and the German Super Cup 6 times. In 2020, they celebrated a historic sextuple year with victories in the Champions League, the UEFA Super Cup, and the FIFA Club World Cup. Of course, the fantastic, legendary season under Hansi Flick. Now, they did mention that he had made some notable signings, highlighting Alphonso Davies and Jamal Musiala, but they have also, under Marco Neppe's reign as head scout and technical director, they have also signed the likes of Kingsley Coman, Serge Gnabry, Leon Goretzka, Philippe Coutinho on loan, which was, again, a pretty successful loan. He did fairly well in that Champions League run in 2020. Leroy Sané and Matthias Tell, and of course other signings like Harry Kane, most recently Matthias de Ligt, which in hindsight maybe wasn't the best deal, but he was certainly a hot property item on the market. Also the likes of Dayot Upamecano when Nagelsmann arrived. Now, the role of the technical director is quite similar to the role of sporting director. I'm just going to go over some of the biggest roles they inherit there. So their roles are to maximize club annual revenue, set financial targets for ticket sales, merchandise sales, negotiate player transfers and wages budgets with the owners and the coaches, develop the club's academy and develop the club's coaching culture and playing style, signing players and hiring managers, negotiating / agreeing club sponsorships, stadium sponsorships, forming scouting networks local and abroad, working with the sports media, analysing commercial performance, dealing with players in breach of contract, and of course the 4 main skills you need to have as a technical director is leadership, communication, problem solving, and forward thinking. Now, he has left Bayern Munich via mutual consent, which means he is now ready to take on any job. In my opinion, this is an opportunity too good to miss out on. I think he would actually I think he'd revolutionise Chelsea, in fact. Again, it would be difficult to get cheeky Begiristain. He still has 1 year left on his contract at Man City, and you don't know if he wants to take a year out or maybe even retire. Andrea Berta, he seems pretty comfortable over at Atletico Madrid. So Marco Neppe has now risen to the forefront, and in my opinion, if I was in charge, if I was Todd Boehly, if I was Bedad Eghbali, I would make him sporting director, because again, he's done a lot of the same roles as a sporting director would at Bayern Munich, and I think he's more qualified for a role of that magnitude, a role of that power for a club like Chelsea compared to someone like Paul Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart. I mean, 10 years working and developing Bayern Munich, being head of scouting, being technical director during one of the most successful periods as a club. Following the I think he made that promotion around just December 2021 time. But I would like to say he is more qualified for the role of sporting director than Winstanley and Stewart. I think Winstanley and Stewart, they should be nothing more than scouts. Maybe make one of them head of scouting. But then again, I would actually make Joe Shields head of scouting, of course, having worked at Man City. So we could really turn our future around if we were to bring in a Marco Neppe and put him in that position of power, over Winstanley and Stewart. Make them scouts, Joe Shields head of scouting. That's what I would do. I also mentioned we have an update regarding Julian Nagelsmann. Now, this coming in from the Sports Zine. Sources: Chelsea eye Julian Nagelsmann or Ruben Amorim as Mauricio Pochettino replacement. Now, we did have a news story, I think the other day, saying that Pochettino is currently safe. And that the club will consider his ability to get European football a high factor in keeping him for next season. We do have a couple of easier games towards the end of the season, but it does seem to be the easier games where Chelsea struggle. So losing out on European football is a high likelihood, and the future of Pochettino is certainly up in the air. We have this again from Sports Scene. Chelsea remain interested in appointing Julian Nagelsmann or Ruben Amorim as their next manager should they part ways with Mauricio Pochettino. Chelsea have made contact with Julian Nagelsmann almost a year after the German rejected their approach. The Blues saw him as the ideal replacement for their project after the sacking of Graham Potter, but the former Bayern Munich manager decided to take a break. Of course, highly understandable. Bayern Munich, the Bayern Munich job, was his dream job. Losing your dream job and being in a financial position where you don't need to take up a job immediately, I can understand why he would want to take some time away from football, just take a breather and not just jump straight back into club football. Sources have told the Sports Scene that the 36-year-old is keen on returning to club football and is open to offers. The Blues are ready to jump ahead in the line once again and have been in touch with the agent since early March. Bayern Munich are also interested in getting Nagelsmann back to the Allianz Arena. They hope that the manager can forget all about the mistakes made by the previous board and rejoin them once Thomas Tuchel leaves in the summer. Of course, Bayern Munich are in the market for a new manager. Nagelsmann has been linked with a return, along with the likes of along with the move for Roberto De Zerbi, who I'm just going to throw it up here, translated to English. That it does look like Bayern are very close to getting Roberto De Zerbi in for next season. However, unlike Chelsea, Nagelsmann is the second choice at Bayern Munich, as they were confident of getting Xabi Alonso from Bayer Leverkusen, despite interest from Liverpool. The Spaniards' decision to remain at the current Bundesliga leader has changed their focus to the German national team coach. But again, Roberto De Zerbi is also quite an attractive move for Bayern Munich if reports are to be believed. Chelsea do have a backup plan in the form of Ruben Amorim, who has been linked heavily to Liverpool, a manager they were interested in last year. They were keen on holding talks with the Portuguese manager, but Sporting CP's demands saw them shift their focus. Just Nagelsmann, the Blues will face competition as Liverpool have agreed personal terms with the Portuguese manager. This has been disputed. The Reds are looking to negotiate a fee with Sporting CP as they are unwilling to pay the £12.8 million release clause. The Chelsea board remains split on Pochettino since January, but are willing to wait until the end of the season because of the FA Cup and outside chances of making it to the top 6 in the Premier League. Roberto De Zerbi and Hansi Flick are currently not on the list of managers sees as potential replacements at Stanford Bridge. Now, interesting that they bring up the point here. The Chelsea board remains split on Pochettino. Apparently, I think Eghbali really wants Pochettino to stay, and of course, Badad Eghbali has a big say in the future and the decisions at Chelsea Football Club. But I saw a report from, and he's been pretty accurate for news, and I think he does have some good sources at Chelsea, from Alex Goldberg reporting with the byline that there was almost some distancing amongst Chelsea, amongst those who are in charge of finding the new manager, which is, of course, Winstanley and Stewart, that they have distanced themselves from the hiring of Pochettino, kind of doing the whole, it wasn't my idea to bring him in, as of course, as we look at Chelsea's current league table position and their inability to get over the finishing line against Liverpool at Wembley. So, Julian Nagelsmann to Chelsea, is it even a possibility? Hopefully it is. I have been very outspoken regarding who I want to be the next Chelsea manager, and I certainly would believe Nagelsmann would be absolutely perfect for this side. We do have an update regarding Chelsea's Stanford Bridge and the future redevelopment of Stanford Bridge, and it is here. Chelsea cannot start any rebuild of Stanford Bridge until 2027 at the earliest, as part of their £80 million deal to buy a plot of land next to the stadium. Of course, Chelsea have now purchased the plot of land next to the stadium that was holding us back from redeveloping Stanford Bridge. The deal clears the path for Chelsea to redevelop Stanford Bridge, though the club is still considering its options: a complete stadium rebuild, a stand-by-stand redevelopment, or a move to a new site. Of course, the stadium rebuild, I think, is what they prefer to do. A stand-by-stand redevelopment, I think that's what they were doing at Anfield, or a move to a new site. Of course, we have been linked with moves to, I think, Earl's Court is the big one that has been linked, that has been rumoured to be Chelsea's next destination if we are to leave Stanford Bridge. But we have bought this plot of land, and I would imagine that if we are to redevelop Stanford Bridge, we would be playing at, Craven Cottage, or we would be playing at Wembley, or something along those lines. Well, big moves happened there. I do think the pitch would have to be turned 180 degrees. Of course, we have bought that plot of land, and it allows us more leeway in terms of building if we were to flip the pitch around. Obviously, stadiums aren't just squares. They're kind of rectangular in shape. So you would imagine Chelsea would be flipping 180 degrees if we were to stay at Stanford Bridge. But an interesting bit of news there, again, not until 2027. I would have thought it would have been sooner than that, but more delays for Chelsea's new stadium. It's really frustrating, of course. Again, stadiums, they don't take, it doesn't take 5 months to build. They take a while to build, 3-4 years sometimes. So we may not even see the stadium done until 2030. And of course, Chelsea have been talking about this project 2030. It'd be around about the time where the owners, they're not coming to the end of the contract, but they're coming to the end of the contract limitation that allows them to then sell the club. So we could see them selling the club in maybe 5, 6, 7 years for maybe double their stock, maybe double what they bought it for. Again, they managed to get on a cheap deal, everything going on with the for sale. And then they said double their money in 10 years' time. Not too bad. Couple extra billions made for them. And it'll be an interesting deal for any new owner coming in. Of course, London club, lots of history in terms of winning consistently across a 2-decade span. One of the most dominant sides in England during that time, and of course a brand new stadium in London, very, very attractive for any new owner. So we could see a potential future like that. But that brings me to the end of the news today. Let me know your thoughts on Marco Neppe, Julian Nagelsmann, and the new stadium news. Do you think we should go after Marco Neppe? How influential do you think he would be in the future of Chelsea Football Club? Julian Nagelsmann news, do you believe it or do you not? I personally am believing it. Do you know why? Because I am at the point where any positive news story regarding Julian Nagelsmann to Chelsea, I'm going to believe, because I need it for my sanity. And let me know your thoughts on the stadium news. How long do you think it will be? Do you think it'll be a good stadium, 60,000 seats or more? Let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section down below. And as always, if you like the video, like, comment, subscribe. I've been the Quick Take, and I'll catch you on the next one. See you later.